Hello, everyone. Welcome to Secrets of Saltmarsh. This is our Ghosts of Saltmarsh Patreon Greyhawk campaign. All the lovely people that you see here on the screen are our Patreons. Shout out to our Patreons. Because of them, everything that we do here is possible. All the one shots, two shots, three shots, everything under the sun. Thank you very much. You can use !Patreon in chat if you want to know what else you can get for being a Patreon. We also have all of our episodes on our YouTube. All the previous campaigns, episodes of Secrets of Saltmarsh, as well as our other campaigns, are available over at youtube.com/StellunaTV. What's my notes? If you want to interact with the game, there's a few ways that you can do so. You can hang out in chat, and with your lurky points, grant a player an advantage or a reroll die to the person of your choice. Or if you'd like to add an element of fate to the narrative, every $10 guarantees a draw from the deck of many things to the player of your choice. Some of them are good, some of them are bad, some of them are something. But let's just jump right into it. Let's reintroduce everyone at the table. Please tell me who you are, where we can find you, and a little bit about your character. And we'll start off with Igneel.
Oh god, it's always me. I was blank. Hi, my name is Igneel Blazeheart. You can find me on Blue Sky, Neil Blazeheart. That I think is that bluesky.com or something, whatever it is.
I got it, don't worry.
I play Asra Deedra, who is a Twilight Domain cleric, Shadarkai noble, and who's got a few little friends following him in his shadow.
Excellent. Thank you very much. As you can see, the seat right below Igneel seems to be taken. I wonder who it could be. There's only one way to find out. Keep watching Secrets of Saltmarsh, and you might discover the answer. But for now, we'll jump on over to GodfatherWraith. Hello.
Hello, I think I'm muted.
No, I hear you loud and clear.
Woohoo! Hi, I'm GodfatherWraith V_ESG. You can call me GodfatherWraith, Tim, or pretty much anything you want except late for dinner. So I play Garen. He's your average, ordinary, nondescript rogue who's really good at making things dead.
Yeah. Speaking of making things dead, thank you so much, GodfatherWraith, for the card draw to everyone around the table. But we'll get to that in just a moment. We'll pop on over to Indicarus.
Hi, everybody. I'm John, also known as Indicarus on the internet. And you can find me on most social media platforms by that name. You can especially find me on my itch.io site, where you can find all the games and stories that I made. I'm going to be running some of those at another place that you can find me if you're in Vancouver this weekend. I'll be at Terminal City Tabletop Convention, aka TCTC, where I'll be running one of my games, Lucky Day Seniors Bingo, and probably some tables of the Labyrinth, the adventure game as well. So if you're a Vancouver person, or if you're coming up here, I'll look forward to meeting you.
Excellent. Thank you so much. And then we'll pop on over to Zombie.
I have to play that game one of these days, I swear. Hello, I'm Jacob. I'm Zombie IMZ. I'm the names you have to call me. I'm the lore keeper and Captain C of the Good Ship Clip. I probably do too many clips for this, up to your own discretion. Today, I play Finn Coulson, Ranger Researcher, and we have been sort of trying to figure out this mystery that's been going around here, and it looks like Paul's bringing somebody on board. Oh, they got a fancy little lantern. I wonder what that's all about. We're gonna soon find out, aren't we? If you're so inclined, you can find me on Twitter at ZombieFighter89 or on Blue Sky, whatever is your flavor of the internet sites. Either one has a pinned post with a link to my Google Doc sheet where you can see all of the fun stuff that I have done, including our other games. And since it was already kind of thrown out that, oh look, our seat over here, there's a mystery, it might have been taken, ooh, I wonder, is there another game? Why, there is! On Tuesdays, we have Heroes of the Humblewood, where I play Leon Breeze, and you could come and sit with us and be a cool character in the Humblewood setting and come find out what the heck's going on over there with all of us. Yeah. So if you enjoy what you're seeing today, and I don't think you won't, I would suggest, if you have the means, please come join us. Come play these fun games. And Scylla is the best, and she always puts together really fun crews. I've enjoyed playing with all these bunch of people so much, and I can't wait to play more today.
Thank you so much. Last time on Secrets of Saltmarsh, just as Zombie had mentioned, we found Pole with the group of misfits, and they were led back to the ship, guaranteed a fine meal, and it was there that the crew got to know them a little bit, and also the crew managed to bring back an apprehended mugger that they then questioned and made question their line of work. In fact, the party was so successful that you were able to convince Bromy, the reformed bandit, to reconsider his malicious ways and perhaps join your crew sometime very soon. We left off with the cover of night. You've been waiting. I just noticed this track called Ghost Town. Is this scary?
One way to find out.
The crew has been waiting. An hour has passed by. It is now nearing 2, and there's no sign of Pole. You know that it is soon that you should meet with this person, this individual that was offering you perhaps a contract or a job. And the agreed location was the nearby lighthouse. You hear the tapping of someone's foot as Tully peeks over the edge, staring out at the dock. What's taking Pole so long? And just as Tully begins to look away, you see a pinpoint of light swaying back and forth, perhaps hung by a handle, a lantern, and it draws your attention. Through the midnight fog, you can see 2 figures beginning to approach. One very visibly Pole, your friend, punctuated by the outline of his hat. But someone less familiar beside him. A more trim figure, tall, lean, and as they begin to draw closer, very clearly, an officer of the law. Pole seems to be leading them straight to the sea lily. What do you do?
Hey everybody, there's Paul right there. He seems to be having the popo with them.
Yeah, Garen has noticed it, and his back is a little rigid while he's deliberately trying to keep his face from showing any expression.
Interesting.
Pole,
Let's wait for them.
beside you, Constable Jute is looking around, trying to survey their surroundings. Are you sure that this might be a good idea?
Well, I'm never sure, but I think it's a good idea. So let's just do it. My friends are good people. They might not be as law-abiding as you might want, but that's not what this is about. Come on, we need you all to get on the same page. Maybe we can really solve these murders.
All right. You can see that Constable Jute's blonde brow twists and gnarls with some concern. She doesn't seem entirely convinced, but as the 2 of you come to a stop right at the boarding plank that will let you make your way onto the ship, she holds a lantern up and she can see the outlines of your friends, including who you recognize to be Tully, peeking over the edge.
Permission to come aboard! Bringing a guest.
Permission granted! And you see Tully just waving his arm and he disappears, slinking further onto the ship.
That's
All-
me, mate, Tully. Come on. We're
all
good.
right. After you. And she lifts up the lantern so you can both see better as you climb aboard.
I step
Right.
forward, like the first, putting myself in front of everybody else, just in case this person is dangerous.
You see
Hello.
that
This
Constable
is Constable
Sorry.
Jute. I just want to introduce them, but you can go ahead and describe.
Yeah, Constable Jute snaps a salute to each and every one of you. You can see that she is still wearing the wardrobe of a patrol officer. She does have a small baton on her hip, but she doesn't have any other weapons on her. And her leather glove is gripping tightly on the lantern that she carries. She looks nervous. She looks unsure. She looks very young. Hello? Good to meet you.
Hello.
This is Garen. This is Finn. This is now I can't remember your name.
Asra.
I should look
Last
at
name
the
is
screen.
Paulson, but close. That's good.
Asra. And this is Asra. My mate Tully just went off of there, and this here is Constable Jute. So you may have heard of her. She has some information. She's really good with the kids. They all love her. Think you'll like her too. But she has information about the ghost killer. And I
Yeah,
think
I've
if we
heard
put
your
all
name.
heads together, we can figure it out.
Yeah, we do intend to look into this, but we did have another goal today, Paul. Tonight, I mean.
Oh, did you? Oh. Well, I mean, do you mind waiting? Do
Yes, I do not mind. I suppose that I can do my round and meet you back here, perhaps in an hour or
all
two.
right. Perfect, perfect. And unless there's anything, I mean, would it be helpful to have more information before we go
It might
to
be
this
good
other
to
thing?
know as much as we can about the lay of the land.
Right, perhaps I can just talk to you now then. Perhaps we can speak somewhere a little more private.
Finn
Sure.
we have a mess hall down there, and I think the majority of the people are either in for the night or just doing rounds. This should be private enough, I think, unless we can think of somewhere else.
Right.
Probably our best area.
Very well, after you. And you lead her into the mess hall, and once you get situated, she more or less tells you exactly what she told Paul, that she doesn't believe that Jarmi was the killer, that there's something suspicious going on, that she saw evidence of a murder take place the day after Jarmi was executed, which clearly leans to the possibility that the Lantern Ghost Killer was wrongfully designated. She tells you about how it was cleaned up and how she's very sorry and unsure of why the leadership is acting this way.
Is our friend
Reference?
they gave us the quest also here? What was its name?
I believe it was Referum.
Oh, yes,
Rephram.
Master Rephram. You can summon him to be a part of this if you like. He will otherwise just be sleeping, hiding
Okay.
inside the
Wasn't
ship.
sure to see what was his deal, because it was his friend that I believe
His
this
friend that
person
was
also had an
Executed.
Yeah. So did you want to include him in this conversation? Because that is an option.
It is, but he's not the most reliable of witnesses.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
I mean, at the very least, if we don't get him, one of us should tell him that at least the police seem to believe
We
that there was misspoke.
that-
Or when at least he feels like he doesn't feel alone. I feel
Yeah,
like he feels
there's-
alone in thinking his friend is, my friend didn't do what everyone else around here is, and we have
Mhm.
this nice person over here saying, no, actually, I think maybe it could have been someone else.
It could you help in appeasing his soul
Mm-hmm.
if we show him that he's not crazy.
True.
Yes.
Yes.
But we do know of somebody who has said much the same things you have.
Well, please take my word carefully. I do not wish to be reprimanded for insubordination.
Understandable.
I cannot help but feel dissatisfied with the service. We are supposed to help the people, and I don't think covering this up will help anybody. Well,
No, it won't.
maybe certain people, but not the right people.
I understand your reservations and understand some of what we find may not be above the law, so to say. So be
My
wary of our involvement as well.
Yes. My advice would be to perhaps seek out the physician who runs Hope Never Hospital. Dr. Emil Tranter?
Dr. Emil. Not familiar with them.
They tend to keep to themselves. Other than that, I'm not quite sure what other advice to give you. I'll keep my ear out as I'm doing my patrol, but honestly, I'm just trying to keep bodies from piling up in the styes.
Do you know
Understandable.
anything
Mm-hmm.
of the fisherman Rafe? I believe he was the latest victim.
Yes, a young boy. Sorry, a young man. Almost a boy, 18 years old. A local. Worked off of the fishing docks. Worked several other jobs. Had a sickly mother. I should probably pay her a visit. The serial killer's profile, it doesn't seem to have a specific type of victim. I've been trying to discern who the Lantern Ghost Killer might actually be, why they might be targeting these people, but it's almost random.
From the
Are
information
they
we've
good
had
people?
gathered,
Perhaps?
Rafe was just a boy. I would say that he's as good as they come. No priors. No apprehension.
many of them were found on the edge of the water, or were all of them found on the edge of the water, like banks or piers, or were some of them inside the more inland more?
It was a mix of both. By the water, in alleyways. There was one in the market square. That one was pretty gruesome.
Gruesome. Are all of them gruesome, or?
Yes. They are shredded to pieces, missing pieces. Some organs go missing. It's hard to
Is it
say.
always the same organs?
I was going to ask that.
No, it is not.
Is it more than one at a time?
Some of them have been. It has been quite inconsistent. As for Rafe, it was impossible to tell as they were essentially incinerated immediately. It was covered up.
Yes, that also is weird. Is it the? Do you always cremate all your dead, or is it just the victims?
Sometimes. I suppose it depends on the person and their last wishes. I will say that Jarme did not get a hearing. He didn't get to speak his truth. It went straight to execution. That was suspicious.
Whoops.
That was unjust.
Who pushed that forward?
My best bet would be someone on the council. Who exactly, I can't say. Impossible to know. She begins to count on her fingers. There are several council members here in the Styes.
Ashland, Sirius, Thornwell. Those are the
No.
ones we know of.
Mr. Dory.
Mr. Dory.
Mr. Doy, Rashlin, Celeris, and Thornwell. 4 of them, yes.
Is that all of the council members?
It is, yes.
What can you tell us about them?
Well, Mr. Dory is known as one of the most influential and wealthy merchants of the Styes. He owns a very large warehouse that plays a great part in very many industries here. Rashlin is a former adventurer. He is known to be a bit of a handyman, but he keeps to himself. Celeris, I don't actually know very much about him. He's a bookish type. I don't think I've ever seen him out on the streets. And Thornwell, well, she's a bit better off than most people in the Styes. She is a learned person. Some say that she was a mage. I don't know why she ended up here, but it has been said that sometimes she casts a bit of magic here and there. And
What
well,
have your dealings been with this Mr. Dory?
oh, not much. Occasionally, some of the other officers will be called in and asked to remove people from his premises. He's very, very careful about who he lets in and out of his warehouse, which is reasonable. There are quite many goods that come in and out of there. And as far as I know, it's legitimate. The manager... she taps on her chin, trying to remember the name. Miss Chumwell. She's very no-nonsense. She's very good with her paperwork. But Mr. Dory, I haven't seen him in a very long time. Mr. Dory is known to be a sickly person. He has a skin condition.
We've heard.
I'm sorry I don't know more. She looks a bit crestfallen. I'm a bit of a junior in my rank, so I'm not privy to sensitive information, just what I've heard and what I've seen.
To be fair, some of
This
this
is
information
Mr.
we've heard
Dory.
is... Oh, sorry. Go
Well, I
ahead.
was going to ask, does this Mr. Dory come out? Or is he always staying inside?
I hear that he comes out sometimes, but not for very long. His skin condition requires him to be near water to submerge into a special tub of some kind. Otherwise, he'll begin to feel great discomfort.
Is this, is it more prevalent day, night? Does it not matter? Like, could he be out longer at night than during the day, or would that be something you're not sure of?
I don't know, sorry.
Is there anybody else that has the skin condition around him, or is it just himself?
Mm, I'm not sure. I do know that there are all manners of sickness in the styes. You should be very careful not to fall in the water. It is quite putrid. It is known to actually carry sickness. Other than
Good to
that,
know.
I'm not really a doctor. I don't know, sorry.
Well, thank you for all you've shared with us. I think it will help us, and we'll keep you in the loop as we investigate.
Yes, please.
If you hear anything, please tell us too.
I will. I'll leave a message if you're not back. But otherwise, I have a few hours to continue my patrol.
We, I know you feel like there's not a lot of information, but there's definitely been pieces in here that we didn't know about. So we appreciate the information you were able to give us because I feel like we're putting more stuff together now.
Good, good. I'm glad to help.
Knowledge is
Oh.
power.
One more quick question. It
Yes.
seems we've heard that all the cleric and clergy of this town has been run off.
Mm.
Do you know anything about that?
I think it has to do with taxes. That was my
Tax.
understanding.
Churches don't pay tax.
Well, I suppose they do here. Why?
There seems to be something weird happening with divine magic here. Like something is keeping it, keeping the divine at bay.
Interesting.
I'm a cleric myself. I follow the Great Celeste.
Ah, I see. And she gestures over towards your, the signs of
Amen.
Celestian. Yeah. I am not much of a. She starts looking quite flustered. I haven't traveled much, so I have much to learn.
Were you born here?
Yes, most of us here were born here. It is quite rare that anyone from the Styes ever leaves the Styes.
Is there a reason why the people don't leave this place? Are they prevented?
Some people might say it's a curse. I think it's just bad luck.
And it takes resources to relocate. If nobody has anything, they can't leave.
It's true. Well, I'll see you around.
Indeed.
She pops you another salute, and then she disembarks and begins to leave the ship.
And Garen would
A
also
small
like to...
blessing for you is on your way out, just to make sure, in case you get attacked.
Yeah.
As I cast Death Ward on her.
What does that look like?
She's the small lights just pulses with like the small dim lights around the place as it illuminates the darkness, and then a shadow forms for a second at my feet, and it jumps to her shadow and disappears.
Oh. Thank you.
You're welcome.
She seems at a loss for words, unsure of what's the appropriate thing to say, and she simply gives you a deep nod of her head and begins to walk off.
It only lasted hours, so be careful after that.
And she waves as she leaves. The group of you
And
now reunite.
Garen, hold on.
Yep.
As she's leaving, Garen does want to take a look at her like uniform and demeanor and everything to see if anything unusual stands out.
Okay.
about her.
Go ahead and roll either insight or investigation.
Oh, investigation. Okay. Investigation is actually better.
Okay, a 13. No, nothing really sticks out. With your history of being a soldier, you can tell that she's just got basic training. She's got some measure of discipline with her. Her uniform's tidy, but it's worn, and you can definitely tell that she's had this for a couple of years now, and it seems that this is probably her only pair of uniform. And she's done a good job of keeping it tidy for some place like this. But other than that, you don't see her gait change. You don't see any kind of way that she carries herself change. She seems to have been pretty genuine as far as you're concerned. And she
Yeah.
carries herself the same as she walks away.
That's what Garen was hoping he would find.
What about her shadow?
Oh,
Her,
yeah.
her shadow, go ahead and roll me insight or investigation.
31.
Just a casual 31. Jesus. Okay. Okay. As you're looking at her shadow, it looks almost as if it's made out of dark honey. And where her heart would be, you see a small golden light. So now, with you all gathered here, let's see. You only have a couple of hours before the sun will probably begin to start to rise. Did you want to head over to the lighthouse to make good with your meeting now? Or do you want to
No.
wait?
Did she make it sound like it had to be tonight, or...
It was a bit inconclusive. You probably got the sense of if you don't meet tonight, she might meet you tomorrow.
Okay.
We can meet her tonight, but we don't have to act on whatever she has to say today.
True. It
Mhm.
Nothing
sounds
is
like it's not
nothing
something
about it.
time sensitive. So yeah, let's go tonight. It shouldn't take us the rest of the night, because I would like to get some sleep before too long.
Mhm.
Yes, I'd like to keep my word. If we said we were gonna meet with her, then we'd meet with her.
That's sort of my thought too.
Okay. I totally forgot to draw cards, and I just remembered right
yeah.
now.
I thought that's what this was.
I honestly was gonna wait until we did the whole long rest to remind you, but yeah.
No, this needs to happen right now, just in case.
Okay.
I wasn't gonna remind her at all.
Horrible
We don't
things
need no.
Okay. The first card we're gonna give our question mark person, who
Ooh.
isn't quite here yet, but I will go ahead and draw for them. Oh shit! Just casually drew them the Fates card. Okay.
Oh.
Oh my god.
Wow.
Wow. Okay. Okay.
Interesting.
Igneel, tell me when to stop.
No pressure. Let's see. Something good this time, please, 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 please. All right, stop.
Okay, that's a good one.
All right, all right.
All right, GodfatherWraith, tell me when to stop.
And that.
Ooh, not great. Okay.
You did this to yourself.
Leave the good ones to pull.
Oh, stop.
And Dickerus.
Stop.
Oh, okay. Bad luck, buddy.
Oh,
Ah,
And
all
zombie.
the kind I have.
Speaking of bad luck. Stop.
Nope, that's bad.
As I said, speaking of bad luck.
Oh, and I get
I
one
still
too.
Use the
wonder.
other deck.
Oh no, I don't. Okay.
I still wonder when Stella says that's bad, if it's bad for us or bad for her.
Oh no,
Probably
it's
us.
always bad for you.
Oh,
My
okay.
favorite. I really like the ooh. Oh, that's bad.
God, you have me choking on my spit over here. Okay.
Yeah.
Okay, so as you begin to move off into the night, it isn't a very far distance you have to travel to get to the lighthouse. You can see here where the sea lily is parked on the map, and it's literally just a couple of streets over. So you get there in just a few minutes, really. As you get up to the lighthouse, you can see that it is in disrepair. It looks as if at one point in its old life that it might have been an ancient landmark and might have provided some safety to the harbor nearby, but there is no light shining off of it. It's a sad, soggy looking building, and it is there that you see the outline of Groton, the gnome woman that you saw in the marketplace. She is, however, dressed differently. You can see that she is wearing some strapping leathers, and she almost blends into the night. She only sticks out because she wants to be seen. She peels away from the building as she hears the group of you approach, and she gives you a small salute. Well then,
Anyways.
good to see ya. I
to
wasn't
see
sure if you
you.
were coming. It is starting to get a bit light soon.
Yes. My friends had some business to wrap up before we can make it here.
Well then perhaps I shall get straight to business then, as well. As I mentioned before, I'm a bit of a... She flicks her nose a little bit. Consultant. She hooks her thumbs into her belt, and you can see that there's like 6 daggers just shoved into little sheaths there.
Yeah. Garen rests his one hand on his bow.
She takes a
No.
very casual stance. She doesn't seem to be threatened by you whatsoever.
And Garen's not trying to be. Just like, yeah, I'm aware of what you're implying.
She has 2 long braids that she flips over her shoulders, and she relaxes a bit. Alright, well, before we begin, I do have a bit of a consultant fee. Let's say a casual 100 gold.
All right. Garen hands over 100 gold because he actually has that much and more.
You see her eyebrows raise as you do that, and she takes it. She doesn't bother counting it. She just kind of catches it in her hand and seems satisfied, and she tucks it away. I knew I chose the right people when I saw you. Alright, here's the deal. I recently believed a cache of stolen pearls to be hidden away in Mr. Dory's warehouse, and I did some research. A few days of watching revealed that, Mr. Dory likes to keep quite a bit of company. Creatures of various sorts watch his place.
What kind of creatures?
Well, the rumors of him owning dogs seems to be at least partly true. They aren't hounds in the way that you and I know them, that's for sure, but there are some manner of beasts. I think there are 2 of them. More than 1 at very least.
Okay.
Heard some rumors about strange noises coming from there. Is it these hounds?
I do believe so, yes. They sound big. Like
So you haven't seen them with your own eyes?
No, they haven't been let out of the building. I watched for 3 days. They don't come in or out. They stay. During the day, there are at least 15 workers that head on in, and the manager is there, so long as there are daily activities to be held. At night, they shut it, lock it nice and tight. And it's quiet, except for the growls you might hear if you catch their attention as you're passing by. Now, I'm willing to share this mark for a price. 30% of anything valuable that you get out of the warehouse. How's that sound?
I can agree with that.
Are you going to come with us?
Fuck no. She spits on her hand and she holds it out to Garen.
Garen will spit on his gloved hand and
Wait. I was gonna say 25% and 5% to those kids.
You know what?
Mm.
That's even better.
All right.
She spits on her hand again and she offers it out to Asra.
I've been around the block.
With that, she says, okay, this is the last I can really tell you from my observations. A shipment of meat made of different sea creature parts was delivered to the warehouse. I really don't know what to make of that. Maybe some sort of strange appetite.
What kind of meat you said again?
Sea creatures.
creatures. Just the meat or body
Just
parts?
meat.
Just meat.
Hmm.
Hunks of
What do you know
whale.
of this Mr. Dore and his skin condition? He constantly needs to be in the water.
Oh, yeah. Mr. Dory is a strange fellow. He stays up in his house for the most part. You'll see it. You'll know it when you see it. She points on over towards the east. And I will now reveal on your map number 7. She points in that direction. You won't be able to miss the warehouse. It sticks out like a sore thumb. In fact, it has a great crane suspended out of the side of it, and from the crane hangs half a ship. It is in the ship that Mr. Dory makes his home.
That's not a bit odd, is it?
Huh. He's an odd fellow. I suppose that people don't really ask questions because he can pay off the right people. In fact, I know, without a certain doubt, that he has some of the guards in his pockets.
We've heard that from others as well.
Mm-hmm.
I've heard that he basically owns this town.
That's not too far off the truth.
Is he the one that's been pushing to tax the churches and run them off?
Let me make a roll here. I'm not quite sure. I'm not a religious sort.
Still, religion is a threat to people in power if they can't control the church.
That much is true.
Mm-hmm.
I don't think anyone would ever question Mr. Dory. That in itself is a problem.
I doubt they would have any good ending from what we've heard. If they did. Do you know if Mr. Dory, if he had any dealings with a fisherman named Rafe? Or Jarme, the one that was executed?
No, I don't think so. He keeps his crews pretty tight-knit. Not very many folks go in or out of the warehouse that aren't sanctioned. He keeps his employees well paid, I can tell you that. So it isn't often that they go missing or leave. Owning
And
Mr. Dory's favor has helped them quite a bit.
And that shipment of sea creature meat, was it provided to him by the local fishermen? or some adventurers or some ships out of town.
Oh, it was local, I can tell you that.
So somebody could have found too. Maybe some boy found out too much, or seen too much.
That's possible.
Yes.
I've seen people killed for less.
Especially in this town. I mean,
Mm.
you've seen. We literally walked into an alley and we got jumped by like 20 people.
Mm.
Didn't end well for them. Well, most of them anyway.
No, it did not.
Nope.
She puts her hands on her hips and she throws her head back. She just laughs. Oh, they should have went the other way. They should have known better. I'm glad you held your own.
Thank you.
It's
Yeah, sometimes-
unfortunate
Glad we did
that
as well.
yeah, it's unfortunate to me that that's the way it is here.
Mhm. Numbers game usually works for them. Didn't this time.
Yes. Hopefully one day the skies will have a flip or two, but I don't think that's in the books for quite some long time. Some big changes would have to take place. Even the water's rancid here.
We've been told.
Yes, indeed. Well, something is definitely creating this environment, this terrible changes in this place. As a cleric of Celestian, I felt a big disturbance in this place, keeping the vine away from this place.
Mm.
Something horrible is going on here, more than meets the eye.
That I don't have a doubt. Well, if you want, I can walk you up to the warehouse, but I suppose it's up to you if you want to hit it now or do your own survey.
With much,
I think we'll do our own survey and find a way in later, not right away.
yes.
All right?
I could use the rest after today's battle. And you said there's a crane and coming out of the warehouse
Aye,
into a ship suspended to it.
exactly. Half
Are
a
there
ship
a lot-
hanging from the crane up in the air. About 40
Are there
feet.
a lot of guards?
Hmm. A few. I
'Cause
suppose
that
Mr.
could be our
Dory.
entrance.
It's true. There are patrols that go about the streets, but they aren't consistent.
No, too tightly grouped. They're just putting on a show of trying to maintain order.
I will say this, and this is free because the kids like ya. The guards, they're sometimes played between Thornwell and Mr. Dory. I've known them to deny each other time to time by throwing money at their problems.
Mhm. So the person with the higher purse gets whatever they tell the guards to do.
And this Mr. Thornwell, we heard that he's a learned person, a mage type of sort.
Yes,
Can you tell us more about her?
she is a wealthy lady. Definitely not from here, but she's set her roots. Not quite sure why she's staying here of all places, but I would steer clear of her. I hear she's a vindictive woman.
Let's see. Is there
She don't get
anybody in
along
the
with
council?
Mr. Dory.
No, they are not friends.
Or maybe we could
Be useful.
persuade her to help us against him.
I was thinking the same thing.
For that, we'd have to find out some dirt on him. Maybe he's a fish person. Who knows?
But it would also mean, we need to know or have a better idea of what she knows. Otherwise, it might not actually be worth the time to gather the information.
She points
True.
a bit further south, and you'll see on your map number 9 here. Oops, I'm moving it around. She points over to what you see is something of a tower, the tallest building in the skies, probably. That there is Thornwell Tower. If you want to find her, it's very likely she'll be home.
Oh boy, she's got a tower. That's
Lo-
not good.
Locals
Mhm.
say that the tower is haunted by devils and contains a portal to the 9 hells.
You don't want to mess with a wizard who's got a tower. It's never good.
Mhm.
Never good.
I wouldn't visit her.
Wouldn't know.
I might actually have a way in.
What about the other council members? There's this fella named Rashin and Sliris.
Rashlin lives pretty close by. She'll point over at number 8, which is right next to number 9. He owns a bit of a manor. It's nothing worth really of note. A bit decrepit, falling apart. I think he used to be an adventurer.
That's what we heard in the handyman.
Probably decided to retire here. Heaven knows why. She counts on her fingers. Solaris, I don't actually know where they live. Huh. I suppose I never really thought about that. Well, if nothing else, I wish you the best of luck. And if you need me, you'll find me in the market.
Sounds good to me. What Garen, Paul, Finn, do you guys have anything else to add? Or ask?
No.
I don't think so.
No.
All right. Have a good night. Stay out of trouble. And keep your pockets closed. She sends a wink, and then she walks off into the night.
All right.
I think some of my
No.
earlier suspicions are not what I think anymore, but
But
I like
yeah,
that one. She seems like a nice lady.
she does.
hmm.
Ella, however, might want to check out Thornwell's library if there is one, if she's willing to allow it. Meanwhile, I can get to know Thornwell.
Would be good, but also I feel like maybe we do some scouting
Absolutely.
today, because I could use some of my spells. It'd be good to recover them if we are to infiltrate the next day. I could give you
Absolutely.
some night vision. Can anybody make you invisible in our ship?
Oh, I can
Maybe.
make myself invisible.
Oh,
He does a
beautiful!
pretty good job
Even
with that on
better.
his own, yeah.
Amazing.
And honestly, I know how this is going to sound. I don't really need it.
It's always good to be extra careful so they don't
Correct.
see your face.
I can also, if
That's
we need it, I can make everyone look like somebody else.
Ooh, can you?
Pretend
would
to
be
be
good.
workers or whatever. We want to
Oh, I
go in
forgot
during the day.
Yeah, I forgot about that. Yeah.
Yeah, that is the better way to infiltrate, is if we aren't sneaking. You gain less suspicion when you're walking around like you belong there, rather than sneaking around.
That is very true indeed. Well,
So, do the group want to take a long rest?
Yes.
Yeah, I think we should.
Yes.
we would like to. Can we send some infiltration first? Not
Yeah.
infiltration, scouting a little bit from outside
Yeah,
as
absolutely.
much as we can tonight, because we're probably gonna use a bunch of spells to just try to gain some information about the place before we
hmm
actually go in the warehouse to be prepared.
Yeah, we can montage this absolutely. So what the way that we'll do this is we'll go around and I'll basically let everyone have a chance to do like one thing or like try to find out one thing. And then we'll figure out we'll just do like a roll and then see what you get from that. So do we want to start with Garen?
Yeah, Garen is going to probably try to inconspicuously take a look at the entire perimeter, see
Okay.
if, how many doors there are, windows that are at first level, or how easy it might be to climb.
And this is the warehouse.
Correct.
Okay. Yes. Go ahead and roll me a perception check and a stealth check.
Right. Stealth. Oh. Ouch. 15 on stealth.
Nice. That's okay. And then roll me a perception check.
Yes, okay. Don't matter on this one, too. And a 20 on perception.
Okay, so this is what you
You're
learn.
rolling so bad.
As you have been going around the warehouse, you find that it has only one entrance, and it is easily 3 stories tall. As mentioned, there is a crane suspended from the 3rd floor, the very top floor, and from it is half of a ship just hanging from it, and there appears to be a bridge connecting the 3rd floor to the ship itself. So the ship is about 40 feet off of the ground. With the 15 stealth, it isn't necessarily that you are seen, but perhaps your scent gets caught. And you hear growling coming from inside the building. Go ahead and roll me an investigation check.
Well, that's better. 21 investigation.
21, you're able to determine 3 different sources of growling. They are not anything you have ever heard before. It's not a dog, it's not a wolf, but it is something really big.
Not an owlbear, because he knows what that sounds
It's
like.
not
too.
an owlbear. It is this sort of like deep, guttural grating of a growl.
Hmm.
So, yeah, you'll be able to determine that there's probably a stairwell of some kind inside that'll allow you access to the 3rd floor. Or if you want to try to climb it, that seems really dangerous but also doable. Or if you come up with some other solution.
Yeah. How exposed would we be if we tried climbing to the 3rd floor?
That is a great
Climbing to that
question.
entrance at the... Yeah. Anyways, you know what I mean.
Yes. You would get the sense that it might just depend on the time of day. Like right now at nighttime, you might be able to get away with it, but during the day, no way.
No way. Okay.
Okay.
Cole is thinking of going up to the side of the warehouse where the entrance isn't
Mm-hmm.
and trying to speak with animals through the wall and try and talk to whoever this big growly beast is.
Okay.
Of course, if they're not actually an animal and there's some other thing, then it won't work. But
Yeah.
let's try it.
Okay, go
And
ahead and roll
say,
me animal handling at advantage. Okay. Dirty 20. All right. You feel pretty confident in your spell. What does it look like as Pole's like hunched in the dark next to the wall where there's like growling on the other side and you cast your spell?
He kind of hunches his shoulders over as if he's a four-legged animal instead of an upright creature, and comes up close to the wall and starts making uh, barking and growling noises.
With the 20, you realize this creature is not a beast. As you are doing this, it growls back, and you hear it snuffling, huffing at the air, trying to get your scent. Roll me a stealth check. "24. As it tries to scent you, it begins to sneeze. It doesn't seem to successfully get to scent you, but it is definitely not an animal. It is something else.
I smell like mice and lobsters and all the other animals that I hang out with all day.
Yep. Can't quite get a read on you. What does
All right.
Asra want
Well,
to do? Oh, sorry. Go ahead, Paul.
I was gonna, that's good to know. I'm gonna head away, but I might go back to serve as a distraction if other people want to go over the wall, try and get this thing interested in me, scratch against the wall or something like that. But we can coordinate that later.
Okay. Asra.
Asra is going to step into an alley. And as he steps into an alley, a copy of himself keeps moving through the alley and chills there. As an invisible himself leaves the opposite way as I cast Mislead. And then Asra will go towards the ship. And then you just see some of the shadows just gather on his back. And a pair of wings from the shadow forms as he'll fly and try to look through the windows of the ship.
Okay. All right.
I cast Steps of the Night for my Tridomain Clark.
That is so cool. Okay, go ahead and roll me a stealth check.
I have disadvantage from armor, advantage from visibility, so
Okay.
straight.
15. So, as soon as you start to move up, oops. Sorry, we're gonna be right back real quick. Our cameras got mixed up.
I was just
We're gonna
say,
take a quick break. We'll be back in like 5 minutes. And we are back. Thank you for your patience, everyone. So, Asra, before you fly up, you cast a spell.
If actually, I also want to add see invisibility first because it's not concentration.
Okay.
I have 300-foot dark vision and see invisibility now, since there's no range apparently in 5e on see invisibility.
Okay.
And mislead to be invisible, and there's a duplicate of myself just chilling in the alley far away.
Okay.
And then I flew.
Okay. As you fly up, you quickly realize that there are clouds of steam that are super, super thick on the inside of this building or this ship. And the steam seems to slowly be seeping out between the cracks as well. You smell clove, cinnamon, and ginger. You can see that there are some twisting vines that are sort of like crowding the wooden frames of the windows, and they seem to be somewhat sealed shut. But you can't actually see inside the actual ship itself. You can, however, see... I'm going to actually bring y'all over here. Okay. It should be completely dark for you. How does this
Mhm.
work?
I see nothing.
How does this work? Here you go. There you go. You will see that there is the top of the ship there. This area here is the inside of the ship that you can't see into. However, you see that there's a small bridge, the 3rd floor, and then the crane itself, the shaft of it, has a small office that doesn't have any windows. So I will reveal that to you. There seems to be a single door that attaches to the warehouse on the 3rd floor.
Interesting. I'd like to fly around the ship and try to listen to see if I hear any voices from the ship.
Okay, go ahead and roll me perception. Okay.
23.
A 23, you hear the sound of water splashing. But you don't hear anything else. Maybe a bathtub?
I move around the ship. Nothing else. No voices.
You don't hear any voices. No one's talking. You do hear breathing, but it's a bit hard to hear through the walls.
Interesting. And I'm gonna lie towards the end and try to listen on the little office.
Okay, roll me a perception check. $16. Okay. You try to lean up against it. It seems to be made completely out of metal, so it's really hard to hear through it. Roll me a stealth check.
$14.
14. You somehow make a sound as you're trying to strain to hear it, and it seems to alert something or someone inside. And you see a door open.
I immediately fly and just into the sky.
Okay, you fly up. Okay. You see stumbling out of the hold on. You see stumbling out of the shaft here is some kind of creature. This is what it looks like.
The name
Alrighty.
of this.
You see this
All
sort
right.
of gelatinous creature suspended on tentacles slowly roll out of the shaft here. It looks around, seems to fail in finding you, and then it goes back inside.
Can I tell what this thing is? Make some sort of knowledge check.
Go ahead and roll me history.
I think I actually have that. I do. Let's go.
A 12. You have no idea what this is. It looks fucked up.
Horrible. That's what this is.
It smells so bad. The stink of
Okay.
it rises up to where you are. Okay.
Do I want? On the ship, is there any entrance that's kind of clearly visible?
Yeah, the entrance is a single door that's about like right here.
Right, what? Oh, I see.
Yeah, right there. There's a single door.
Nah, I won't push it. I leave.
Okay. Finn, is there anything that you'd like to surveil before you tuck in for the night?
I just think with everyone kind of going their separate ways, Finn's kind of looking around, not really sure what to do. It seems like everybody has kind of got things covered. So Finn, more or less, is just going to try and have everybody's back. So he's just going to try and he's going to look out, make sure that there's no, like, guards that we haven't bumped into before, maybe ones he doesn't recognize, or ones that, you know, maybe we've seen before but we know are maybe kind of whatever, like people that we know that maybe if they saw us or whatever, it would make things probably harder for what we're trying to do tomorrow.
Okay. Go ahead and roll me perception.
Perception. Can read. Ha.
Okay.
That's a 9.
With a 9. You don't quite hear anything out of the ordinary. You do hear the growling from Pole and Garen trying to investigate what these creatures are. But to you, they also don't make any sense. You're uncertain of what they are as well. But I will say that as you make an effort to sort of go around in a perimeter and try to see what other people see, go ahead and roll me an investigation check.
Can do. 13.
13. As you walk around the front of the building, you test your hand on the door and you realize that someone forgot to lock it tonight.
Interesting. I guess he'll jiggle it enough to kind of realize, oh, I can open it, okay. And then probably walk around to where Pole and Garen are and be like, they didn't lock the door. I think someone forgot to lock the door.
Opportunistic, but haste may be unwise.
I mean,
Wait for Ezra.
Okay. Yeah.
coming out of the alley.
Hmm.
Also, hello there. Long time no
Oh.
see.
Long time no see.
Uh,
Mhm.
we need to talk.
I need to talk to you too. Although
Is
I
there
feel
like
like
a
mine's less of importance, but
so is there like an inn or a small restaurant or bakery or something nearby where we can still see the warehouse
Let's see.
that's open?
So, you realize that you're not too far away from Redfrom's workshop that you hold up in.
Hmm.
hmm.
So that is a few blocks away, but everything else is sort of closed right now.
We can always go back to the ship, Garen, and speak over there. I think we need privacy for this one.
I agree.
I,
But from the shop is not too far away. I think we should go there before we discuss things.
Okay.
Okay. You make your way back to Refrem's workshop. It's exactly how you left it, how you found it. You see stacks of books everywhere, and otherwise it's undisturbed and, more importantly, private.
And make sure that nobody's watching the place or looking around.
Okay.
Garen's gonna check, like, back entrances are locked and see if there's any way somebody to have snuck in.
Okay. Roll me investigation checks. Okay. With a 25, Garen, you're able to make sure that everything is secure, that no one's coming in or out. Asra, as you are getting ready and trying to help Garen do this exact thing, you touch the doorknob and you get a weird sensation. The doorknob is suddenly way more cold than you anticipated, and you get a sort of jolt, sort of inspiration in this moment. You have drawn the Vizier card. You get to ask me one question, and I will answer it for you. You're the only one who drew a good card today.
Does it have to be right this moment?
Yes, but it doesn't have to be related to what's going on. It could be something that your character has been wondering for a while. And I can also give you a second to think about it if you want.
I'll take a second.
Okay. So you see Asra kind of pull his hand away from the doorknob, Garen, as you kind of move about and you lock up the place. He seems to be a little thoughtful in the moment. But now you are all alone.
Perimeter's pretty secure. Only 2 entrances, one in the front and one on the 3rd floor connected to the houseboat, I guess. I think during the night, depending on how skilled we all are at climbing, that might be the best option to get in. It'll be unexpected, and at night we can do it without much likelihood of being noticed. What about you guys? Anyone else find anything?
I have my small thing. I don't know if this is an every night thing or if this was just overlooked, but when I went to look around everywhere in the perimeter and I went to kind of grab on the doorknob, it was not locked.
Right.
So
You did
the
say
door
that.
right now is not locked. Don't know if we want to jump on that opportunity tonight, but it's there.
First thing in the
There's
morning,
no beasts inside, remember. They're not beasts. Something else.
they're
Make me
not
smart.
beasts. Yes, we're exhausted. I know Paul and Ezra are probably needing sleep for their spellcasting. No, I think it'd be too hasty. We can check again tomorrow night, see if it's still unlocked, but otherwise, no, I think right now is too hasty,
No.
unfortunately.
No. I agree. I wouldn't. I would want to not either tonight, but it's just. Hopefully, lightning can strike twice. Maybe they just don't care enough about that giant bottom entrance to lock it for whatever
Perhaps.
reason. You know.
Perhaps, I don't know. Maybe it's not their procedure to lock it. In which case, it's probably got eyes on it.
True. That could just mean it's secured extra on the inside, and that may not be good for any of us.
Mm-hmm. Yes, Tim is letting his paranoia drive Garen's words.
No, it's smart.
No, it's
There's different ways to approach this.
Mm-hmm. So,
Okay. So the scope, does it have to be a scope of current events or outside?
It's up to you. It's as flexible as you want it to be. I'll make it work. The wording of it is... Where is it? Here it is. Ask one question, get one answer.
Okay. What is the meaning of numbskin?
the meaning of life is
The meaning
Okay.
of life is more cake.
I will.
yes.
Is one of three. For two are selfish. One, well, kinda.
Just roll a
One
d3.
yes.
Yeah.
One will be what entity or type of creature is based on the things we found right now that messes with the vision of gods, that has henchmen that are those terrible fish people. The dude lives in a ship that's like, what's it called? Steamed.
Asana.
The green stuff, the water stinks, stuff like that. What horrible entity could be causing this? So that'd be one. Two, how can I get my friends in the shadow to be more responsive? Like to be able to communicate with them more, give them more what's it called? Freedom, I guess. Since they're kind of just trapped there. And they can only function when I spirit gardens. And three would be what's it called? What direction should he go to work on the curse of his people? And you know what? And four, let's make it extra selfish. How can I get more power?
Okay. Yeah, go for it.
Okay. All right. Two. I think it was how can I get my friends to be more responsive?
How can you get your friends to be more responsive? You realize that as you are kind of listening to your companions and you're all talking about all the different things that you discovered here, the emptiness of this place, the loneliness, how decrepit it is, it makes you realize that it's such a hollow place. And thinking of hollow things, you realize that perhaps your companions need something to occupy. Maybe they need a vessel of some kind. You might need some kind of artifact. You might need some kind of receptacle, something, maybe even a person or a thing, a creature, something to tether them to this plane, something to anchor them. You're sort of looking around at Master Redfrom's notes all around and looking at all the different trinkets, and this sort of strikes you in an inspiration as an answer to how to get your friends more active and more corporeal.
This is Asra comes out of his with a smile, like out of his like thinking. Oh, sorry, where were we? Oh yes. So I found some horrible things. Top of the ship, there's the crane. There's a little wood thing, a little wood platform leading to the ship. The ship has steam coming out of it. Uh, there's these plants blocking the windows. You can't see inside. I hear some people breathing. I think there's probably water in the ship. And then there's this security cabin. It has no windows, nothing outside on top of the warehouse, with the door leading to it. And I started listening to it, and I made a little noise, but then flew up. And you're not gonna believe what came out. This horrible, horrible white tentacle monster that was stinking like absolute awful things. Poop is super stinky, worse than the water here. Came out of it. So the whatever evil fish people monster this man may deals with, his company is very terrible, and I would not be surprised if maybe he himself was some sort of fish person. From everything we've kind of found, especially the skin condition. Either that or maybe he's some form of warlock. I don't know. Maybe he made a deal with some entity of the water, and his skin condition is what it is.
So you would suspect then, whenever tomorrow when we try to sneak into this place, that the scent will probably be very potent, no matter where we are in the house.
Yes.
Or do you think it'd be just in the ship area?
These creatures themselves are very stinky.
Hmm.
So what are the creatures we might face? Also, I mean, this cannot be good. Those types of evil monsters are not good news. Do we wish to maybe stop this fella and put them to rest?
Well, the risk of doing that creates a power vacuum in the city that could make things worse.
That could make better.
Garen is like in the background, like, it might make a power vacuum and we might lose another member of our crew. We might have to leave KB here.
Right.
Just kidding.
This place could use some change. It could be the catalyst of change.
It could be, as long as the right people are ready to step up and fill that vacuum.
True.
I don't know.
If
Maybe
they
we
are
can
not.
try to find somebody to step up. We can ask
Well-
our crew members too what they think.
No, we should. I think before we move against him, even if it's the right thing to do, we make certain that we know the power dynamics here.
Because with this person being gone, right? There's no battle money-wise between these two. It would just be the other
Right.
person whose name's escaping me at the moment.
I have it up here. Hold on.
Thornwell.
Thornwell, yes.
Yes.
Thornwell could just empty power seat. Sit. I have power now. Ha 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 ha.
Yeah,
So-
and Thornwell could be just as bad. It's just she can't move because of the power struggle.
That
Right.
is
In which
true
case, it
indeed.
doesn't matter who we instill. She's still got too much power for them to take
we
away.
we might have to find a way to make sure that if we do take him out, that she can't just come in also and sit.
Yeah.
We gotta find a spot where we can prevent them both, because it sounds like we're gonna go from one bad person to another bad person.
Right.
So
But we're
Well,
they're both
hang
bad
on.
together, but yes.
There's
These
bad
people-
people and there's creatures what cause a blight on a whole town. And if it's a supernatural thing, that there's some creature that's that's behind all this. Um, it may be that these council people are all in it for all.
That
It
may
is
very be
possible.
much be
In which
so
case,
too.
yeah.
Maybe
In
we
which
can find
case,
some more notes and such on the ship.
right? No. Yeah. If they're all in on it, then taking one out won't change anything either.
Mm-hmm.
But this one clearly seems to be related to these monsters, and
Clearly.
Paul brings a very good point. If if this person's responsible for bringing all this sickness and stench and curse to these lands,
Mm-hmm.
at least even if we take one heads of the serpent out, it would still improve at least the health of these people, the water of these people. It might bring some more trade here. At the
Maybe.
very least, it'd be
But-
a good a good change. I mean, worst case, we can fight the wizard, but I don't like to fight the idea of fighting the wizard with a tower.
Right.
Okay.
And something to remember. What if the rumors about the wizard with the tower are true and it's full of demons
And devils, yep.
yes,
We
we would
can
be eliminating one blight to empower another. We
I
need to
mean
know the power dynamic before we make a move.
we can take out both. One today, one tomorrow. I mean one tomorrow, one 2 days from now.
Yeah. But what
If
One
about
they're
the
thing
truly
about
council?
evil.
demons and devils, they can be banished away.
And
True.
True.
We have
I
that.
can bring some I can bring it too. Some banishment. You
And-
make a very good point.
no, I'd say before we go on a full regicide killing spree, we find out more information.
I agree. We can also go talk to the Stormwell. I mean, make
Mhm.
him go against each other. Tell him their rival is a fish person, and see
Or,
what they
well,
think.
she may already know.
Through.
Like I said,
I'd like to see
we
what the
are
people think.
we are making a lot of assumptions. We need to start.
Mhm.
We need to infiltrate their power circle
Hmm.
before we know the real dangers. I know, Paul. I know. I agree with you. He needs to be eliminated. Probably all of them do, but we need to figure out how to do it before we make a move.
Do we wish to maybe talk to this Rushlin, former adventurer, and a handyman around town? I mean, he's one of the council members. We haven't heard anything terrible about them so far. I mean,
True.
adventurers are not the worst usually. They care about coin and profit, but they generally have a line.
Generally. And then there's also Dr. Tana Fantor.
There's also that person Slaris, but I don't like that.
Mm-hmm.
Nobody really seems to know about them. Maybe they have some sort of power or something that veils them from view or something from other people's minds.
Or maybe
Well,
they are.
they're all on a council, so they must have some kind of communications whenever they come to a decision.
You
Where
would
do they have
think.
their council meetings? Someone must know. There must be pages and scribes, um, people who follow their orders. Those are the people we could talk to find out what's really going on.
Mm,
You would
You
all
just have to be
remember
very
that
careful.
just across the bay over at number 5 is the city hall.
Oh, yeah.
You pass by it on the way to the market.
Mhm.
Yes.
Probably some clerks there will be able to tell us something.
Mm.
I think we're all on the right track. I think we talked to the workers at City Hall.
Do
We
you want
make
to?
contact with Roshlin. I think I might be able to make contact with Thornwell. With Ella.
Garen, you're a very accomplished sneaker. Do you want to
Mhm.
maybe take a look at the city hall? I mean, even if you kind of get, as long as they don't actually see your true face. And the worst case worse, we escape that place. If you can get some documents and figure out the maybe the lore around the place there. I can buff you a bit.
Why don't you want to
We
do
can
all
at
this
night.
stuff without just talking to people?
I like Paul's approach.
I'm just worried. I mean, if you can talk to some of the people and change your appearance, yes. I'm just worried that we're gonna steer the hornet's nest, and we're not gonna have the element of surprise anymore. A lot of these people are in their pockets. If
True.
you pick one wrong person, and then they maybe even attack our ship or try to arrest us in broad daylight, you have to be very careful. I don't
I
want
agree with you
to.
on that.
Yeah, I do not want to start
Caution.
killing a lot of guards midday.
No,
Like a
I
lot of these
agree.
people
Caution,
might be even innocent.
but carefully asking questions may not rouse suspicion, as long as Paul doesn't go in asking blatantly, "What do you know about the council members?" But we can go in there as though we are adventurers new to the city and just trying to understand where we're at.
Yes. I would feel a little better if you snuck in first, at least tonight, maybe.
Yeah, I can try to sneak in and find documentation if that will ease things for you.
I would appreciate it. Better to be careful than sorry.
I love roleplay. I love everything y'all have said. Oh my god, this is okay. All right. Did you want to head over to City Hall and just take a quick look before it gets too light? I will say though that poking around the warehouse did take some time, and
I'm sure.
yeah, so it is starting to break dawn now. So it'll be very risky to go now if you want. But it's going to be a few hours before it opens, for sure. So there
So
is a
people
very small
don't.
window here.
Yeah, but people don't work at dawn, right? They work a few
No.
hours. Okay.
I think it depends on the profession,
Especially at
but
City Hall, but
not City Hall, not the crack of
Yeah.
dawn. The docks, definitely. Yeah, so there is a small window here.
yeah, City Hall
Okay.
opens later in the morning so that the people who work there have a chance to go to the docks and buy their fish before work.
What fish, Garen? What fish?
Valid.
The the
Valid.
stinky
With what
fish.
money?
You get green slime or you get black slime.
Oh.
Mmm.
Don't do the black slime.
No, it's gonna be a tentacle from the fish I saw on top of there. It's like
Oh.
Gross. Okay.
calamari.
That's not calamari, I swear.
The city around you slowly begins to wake as the first rays of the new day begin to wash over the skies. There is an ugly purple-orange cresting on the horizon, peeling back the darkness, threatening to crack open like an egg. And as this is happening, Garen, you are rushing over towards City Hall. I'm gonna let you do one thing. Like, if you want to look for a specific thing, you can. But you have to be decisive about this, and you won't be able to spend much time.
I give you vigilance blessing, advantage on initiative checks, and enhanced ability. I will give you enhanced ability. Would you like enhanced ability advantage on all dexterity checks or all intelligence checks for like investigation stuff?
Intelligence.
Intelligence. Concentration 1 hour.
Alright. Then Garen will turn invisible.
Okay?
Turns completely dark, black, and then just kind of dissolves into nothingness. And then
Okay.
stealth.
I'm
Or
gonna
stealth.
need a lock-picking check to
Okay.
see if you can get into the door.
Character sheet 10.
28.
28.
Yeah. Your fingers dance on the locks and click, 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 click. They fall into the series and you manage to crack it open. Inside, excuse me, inside you find that it is pretty run down. You get a sense just by looking around that the city hall probably doesn't have meetings very often. You can see a lot of the buildings that are kind of adjacent to the city hall and also the rooms inside have been kind of boarded up, and they seem to be a lot more localized, and there appears to be one meeting room and then perhaps like a filing room, and then the other doors are mostly just shut off. So as you get inside, you get the scent of rotting floorboards and just filth from the outdoors just wafting in. This place has not been taken care of. It's seen much, much better days, perhaps a long time ago. You have time to try to look for one thing. What is it that you're looking for?
Garen's gonna go to the records room, and he's not gonna grab the top, or yeah, he's gonna go into the records room. What is he seeing there?
Okay. When you go into the records room, you can see that it's in disarray. There doesn't seem to have been a dedicated clerk to sort through this place very well. You see that there are maps and bills and all sorts of deeds that are just strewn about and shoved into different baskets, some of which are just waterlogged, some of which are stained, ripped in half. So it's going to be very difficult to find anything specific. But they are mostly just sort of organized in piles.
Yeah, and Garen, especially since Garen is not sure what he's actually looking for.
Mm-hmm.
Could have gone to the meeting room. All right. And Garen's going to. Is there anything that looks like it's a ledger or anything like that?
Yeah, there are a few ledgers kind of strewn about. We'll say that there are some ledgers that are associated with the council. There are ledgers associated with businesses in the styes, and there are some tax ledgers.
Garen wants all three.
You have to pick one. You're running out of time. Tick-tock.
Right. All right. Businesses.
Okay, you grab it. And you begin to quickly head out as you hear voices outside. And you slip back into the street, locking the doors behind you, none the wiser. And you make it back to the Sea Lily with your companions just as the sun begins to settle quite comfortably on the horizon. Dawn has fully broken, and people are beginning to move about. You hear the ding-ding of bells as fishermen and dock folk begin their work. Garen reappears with a ledger in hand.
Hasty. Feels
Well
like
done.
some of my more sloppy work, but I don't know if there's going to be anyone for you to talk to in their poll. Doesn't look
Yeah.
like they actually care about holding meetings. So, but you can try seeing if there's someone tomorrow. Head back and we'll take a look at what I got.
Go ahead and roll me an investigation check as you crack open the book.
Yeah.
Okay.
With advantage, that's a 23.
23. Okay. You begin poring over the various businesses in this ledger and sort of reading between the lines, doing some mathematical bullshit that is way beyond Stella to actually describe very well. You are able to essentially pinpoint that a lot of these businesses are fronts, and Mr. Dory's influence goes a lot deeper than you realized. It seems that businesses here start and finish at the blessing of Mr. Dory, and you see that there's no mention of Thornwell. Thornwell seems to be independent of Mr. Dory. There's no mention of the tower, any businesses run out of it. You do see, let's see. You see Rashlin owns their own sort of like for hire business. And there are some notes about the official legislation and the official like accounts of it. So it seems legitimate. It seems not to be tied to Mr. Dory in any way. So at least financially, you get the sense that Rashlin is independent of Mr. Dory. Thornwell is independent of Mr. Dory. There's no mention of Solaris. That's all of them, right? Yeah.
Trantor.
Trantor is a doctor. There's no
Yeah,
mention of the
exactly, remember.
hospital in it. Yeah.
Okay. Oh. So, Garen, he's sitting there leaping through it, and you can see in his head all these numbers and math equations just showing up. Lines tracing all the way always to Dory. He closes the book, rubs his temples. Oh, gods, why does KB love doing stuff like this so much? Okay. Well, what I can gather, Dory literally owns half of this city. The other half, he allows.
So he is the big fish here, after all.
He is. We eliminate him. If somebody doesn't take his place, what economy this place has will crumble. Maybe that's what it needs. I don't know.
I mean, I would assume that whoever runs these shops will just be like, my shop now. Right?
Maybe.
If there's nobody that's gonna enforce that this is Mr. Dory's shop, what are they gonna do?
Maybe. But no, the money looks like the inn for those shops is Dory as well. He owns the economy. So we really need to be careful about taking him out. But what I can gather, he does not own Thorwell or Rashlin. Clarice, I can't find any trace of him in here. I don't know where he gets his influence. But it's not from money.
I don't like that. I mean, either they're very careful, they have some very good magic.
Thing.
Or they're not even a real person.
Or he is actually the one pulling the strings of all of them.
Could be very
He
true.
is the true source of all power.
That could be.
Well, I mean, we can make all sorts of suppositions when we don't have any information. I think we might as well try and find out someone who's actually talked to them. I mean, if they're council, how can they not have council meetings? Right?
Because I don't think they care about running the city as a council.
I will add an amendment that it seems like they don't do it often. Yeah.
Right.
So there was a meeting room.
Mm-hmm. They do meet, but I don't think they care about running the city as a council.
Yes.
More like
but
crime
meet,
bosses.
If they're meetings, where does someone take down the notes of these meetings? When they get together and make a law, does someone not describe it? I don't think they're the scribes. Someone must be there that we can talk to and find out about the words of this person who's not in the ledger. If not, then I don't think they exist. And they're just pretending there's a fourth person, which is possible, I guess.
Yeah, also possible. No, you might be onto something. But I'm just gonna let you know, with the disarray or disrepair of that building, I'm not sure if there's somebody in there daily.
And this Rushland, what type of businesses does he run?
Um,
Adventure.
Like
looks
mercenary.
yeah, a for
For
hire
hire.
type person.
Well, if we
So
can talk to them and they had a council meeting, then we can at least find out about this fourth person.
yeah, he might be
Good.
a good one to approach. He seems the least, from what information we've gotten so far, he seems the least bad of them.
Hmm. Nobody's talked bad of them so far. Yeah, I
Yeah.
mean, I think they probably care more about coin, so we probably pay them a certain amount of money to get information,
Maybe.
and maybe we can even hire their services in trying to find the fish killer, the lantern killer. That way they're
Yep.
on our side.
Wouldn't be the only mercenaries in our crew.
If he runs, we'll see how he runs his mercenaries. I mean, if he takes care of
Indeed.
his people, I'd rather have him in charge. You know.
Indeed.
Maybe the first thing to do is find out who's in his mercenary camp. Have a beer with him.
All right, there. Very good idea.
That would be a good gauge of what type of a leader he is,
Yes.
based off of how they act and how they speak of him.
Yep.
So, as the group of you have been talking over this, you smell food on the air. And as you do, you realize that you've been up all night and fatigue is starting to set into your bones. You can push through and start the day if you want, but you will get a level of exhaustion.
I think it's wise if we turn in for the night.
I could definitely use a good 4 hours.
Yes, we do the heist of the warehouse tonight and see what information we can gather while we're there.
Sounds good
Yeah.
to me.
Okay. We
I'll
see.
I'll prepare a locate object. I can prepare a spell to locate object, and Paul brought a good point. Maybe I'll throw in a little banishment too, just in case.
We see a smash cut, and the screen like cuts into like 4 different segments as everyone's heads hit their pillows. And then we fast forward a couple of hours. It'll be closer to noon now, and you all feel as rested as you can. The
Solid
smell
4
just,
hours.
yeah, this smell just clings to your nose. It's like
Asla
a
does the
bad
thing where
mucusy cold just sort of sitting in the back of your nose.
he floats towards where the food is.
Malaya, your ship cook, will hook you up with a delicious breakfast or brunch, so to speak.
Or is it our captain? Because we know he loves to cook too.
Yeah, KB is just sort of giving directions. There's a potato stew. It's nice and hearty with garlic and I don't know. John, what's in it? You cook.
Lentils.
Lentils, delicious. Some
Mhm.
carrot.
When I make potato soup, it is just potatoes that have been boiled down.
Water.
Water.
Yeah.
Salt.
Celery.
I mean, if it's
Celery.
celery or carrots, maybe.
Mm-hmm.
Is it? Would you say is it salt from the marsh?
Onions.
No. God.
A little bit of
Ah,
ghost dust.
I see what you did there. Salt marsh.
Yeah, so you depart from the Sea Lily with bellies full and spell slots restored. Where do you want to go? You have so many options.
Right.
Mm.
Say we stop by City Hall again, see if Paul has a chance to talk with the clerk or scribe there.
Okay. Yeah. As you make your way back to City Hall and you enter in, you do actually see a number of clerks working inside. They're sort of milling about behind the counter, and they are working, but very slowly. As soon as the door opens, they look confused, and they sort of stand up straighter and begin to move a little quicker, alerted by your presence. One of the clerks turns towards the group of you. Can I help you?
Oh yeah. We're just curious about some of the laws in this town and how they got enacted. You know, um, is there a clerk who can let us see some of the documents?
I suppose you'll need a specialist. We don't necessarily have anyone on our legal team, and you sort of see them like kind of looking behind them, looking at the various people that are just eyeballing the group of you, not really working, and then they sort of wander away. Our
It's
legal
all right,
team's
mate. I know
not.
government work when I see it. I pull out some money.
Oh, yes. Just like straightens up immediately, perking up. Would you like a tour?
I'd love a tour. And give me all the historical whatnots.
Of course. You must be new to town. Please. They just close the book that they were occupied in. They step around. They slide the coins surreptitiously into their own pocket, very clearly trying not to alert any of the other clerks to it. And they sort of step around. Yes, well, welcome to the Styes. This is the council hall in which our esteemed members of our leadership meet. In fact, if you step on over here, and the door is slightly open into the meeting room, and you see the clerk sort of gesturing over. In fact, Master Raslin is in at the moment. Our council members are deeply ingrained with workings of the public. It is very rare for them to actually be here in the council hall because they are so busy. But Master Raslin here seems to have checked in for the morning. As your
Right.
eyes pan over to who is supposedly Raslin, can I get insight checks from every one of you? Garen, you get this at advantage. Okay. 14 from Finn, a 17 from Garen, a 21 from Asra, and a 13 from Pol. Garen, as you lock eyes with this person, something in your gut just sort of turns. Like, you just immediately don't trust this person. For the rest of you, as you're looking at Raslin, you can see that he is an elven man of some formidable bearing. He's strapping, muscular, and formidable. He's in leathers that betray him as an adventurer, and you can see that he has a number of swords and daggers on his person that are clearly well maintained. He is perhaps just as powerful as you, perhaps even more powerful. You get the sense that he's very experienced, and he has a very sure-footed look to him. He's currently standing on the other side of this long meeting table looking at some documents, and when his eyes flick up, there's something deeply unsettling with his gaze. Asra, with your 21, you aren't quite sure how you know, but you're looking in the eyes of a killer. And that is where we're going to end our session for tonight.
Ooh.
Yeah, that's going to be fun. Thank you so much, everyone, for being here. Thank you so much to my lovely castmates for joining me tonight. We're going to go around and do some quick outros, so please tell me who you are, where we can find you, and what your favorite part of today's session was. And we'll start with Zombie.
Hello, I'm Jacob. I'm Zombie MZ. I'm sure your name's yet to call me. I'm the lore keeper and Captain Z of the Good Ship Clip. I probably do too many clips, so it's up to your own discretion. Today I played Finn Carson. Favorite moment of today probably will be a lot of people's favorite moment, but just the amount of discussion and role play we all had today was really, really fun. I didn't say much personally, but a lot of everything that Finn would have thought got covered. So I'm just gonna sit back and let everyone else kind of do the thing. So again, it's one of the great, awesome things being part of this table. I can just feel like I just have a front row seat to a lot of this, and kind of going, we went from, okay, we're definitely taking this person out, to, oh, there's a lot of bad consequences to just doing that. So, and even with more pieces were being put together, I even had speculated in my mind, which I won't say what I thought was going to happen, and now I think it's something completely different. So it's going to be fun to kind of see what's going on with everything, especially with what happened here at the end as well. So I can't wait for our next session to figure out what more stuff is going to happen. You can find me on Twitter at ZombieFighter89 or at Blue Sky at ZombieFighter89, whatever your preference is. Either way, there's a pinned notification. There you will find all of the work that I do. I am a video editor by trade. So if you or anybody else wants any work done, I specialize in D&D, but there are some videos that are up there for now that are of other video game stuff, like Stella playing Resident Evil, for example.
I scream a lot in that one.
That is a screaming montage. Be prepared. There is a headphone warning in there as well. So when you load up the video, the thumbnail says headphone warning. So you beware of that. But if that's something you're also looking for, stuff like that as well, and then I do promo videos for not only this show, but if you've enjoyed seeing me in this game today, and possibly want to see more, or just want to see more of Stella's content, because why wouldn't you? We have Tuesdays. We have the Humblewood, or Heroes of the Humblewood, where I play Leon Breeze, Ranger Researcher, and we're going about trying to figure out mysteries in that one as well, about what is this thing, and we have this egg, and does this egg belong to these people? And now we're going to find out about these people. And somehow, some way, we got sneak advantage because of a mushroom that just follows us. And we don't know who they are, what they say, but it is hilarious. And you should come find out to see what happens to this wonderful mushroom person. And then there is Strixhaven, where I play Alexander Thum. And I'm so far undefeated in this year getting that right. I'm very proud of myself. Where I play good old wizard boy, and we're learning things in Strixhaven. We actually most of us actually. Well, no, we didn't do.
No, not most. Not most of you.
Never mind. I'm misconstrued. I didn't help them cheat this time. So yeah, spoilers. We didn't.
Yeah.
But there's gonna be some aftermath to that in our next session, and it'll be interesting to see. But if you haven't seen last episode, you should see our last episode of Strixhaven, because there was a lot of hot NPCs, and we got to interact with all of them. And it was great.
Someone brought up a really good idea after the stream of, like, during the recaps, I should just scroll through the relationship tracker just to show how everyone's relationships are developing with the NPCs, because we're doing kind of like a romance simulator with it. I thought it was a really good idea. That would be really fun.
No, it's great. I think that would be an awesome idea.
Yeah.
So yeah. But most important of all, go support Stella. Stella is amazing. If you have the means, please. They are one of the most amazing content creators on this platform or any other platform. So, great.
Thank you so much. We're going to pop on over to John.
Hello, everyone. I'm John, aka Andicris, and here, aka Paul of Eminfort. And I had a lot of fun tonight. I particularly have enjoyed. I think what I'll say is not necessarily a most favorite moment, but it's a favorite development, and that is, we've had a captain, then we had another captain, and I feel like I'm seeing Garen stepping up to leadership right now, and it's something that he's not intending to do, but I think I see it happening, and it's very interesting to me.
I love that. Like a cat, though, because you said that out loud, now Godfather's going to be skittish about it.
I wasn't even meaning to, and yet, yeah, you're right.
Well, speaking of Godfather, hello.
Oh, hello. Max was also saying hello. I don't know if you guys heard her. So, yeah. Okay, yeah. I really have no social media presence, so I'm just gonna skip right on to your favorite part. I have to agree with Zombie. Just the intense amount of roleplay, especially with Stella hyping up. We're gonna be a dungeon crawl tonight. We're gonna be a dungeon crawl tonight, and it's all roleplay.
I love it though. It's the best.
Yep.
It's so much better than
Yeah.
just steamrolling through a module or anything like that.
Yep.
Especially because, oh god, I can't say anything. There's so much I want to say, but no. All I can say is I'm so happy that, yeah, do that. Good job. Yeah.
But yeah. Anyways, and I also like that I had an opportunity to be more involved in the roleplay. Normally, I'm how Zombie was of, yeah, that's what I wanted to bring up. Oh, okay, that's already covered. Or we're moving in a different direction. I'm not going to talk about it.
Yeah.
Well, it felt good, and I enjoyed tonight so much.
Thank you. Our mystery person, question mark, who could it be? We'll find out soon. Check out Secrets of Saltmarsh in the next couple of months. We'll see what happens. But last but not least, we've got Igneel. Hi.
Hi, my name's Jeff.
My name's Jeff.
My name's Jeff. So hi everybody. My name is Igneel Blazeheart. You can find me at Igneel Blazeheart on Blue Sky. I played Asra Deedra tonight. Your friendly advocator of regicide tonight of this place. I did love that role play of like the potential consequences and the different ideas of who we take out, what that involves. Okay, Asra would have, you know, if somebody brought it up, like start taking out one by one. I guess 4 people are going down because of, you know, reasons. He views, you know, these types of people as that bring only suffering to their own people and the lands as someone who should just be taken down. But you know, sometimes you might not necessarily see the larger scope of the consequences it might bring. So I like that the party's there to brings a certain reason to just straight action.
Yeah.
Very good roleplay tonight.
Oh man. I told everyone, I was like, all right, we're going to have a dungeon crawl. There's going to be lots of combat. I absolutely love.
Psych.
Yeah, it's like, I absolutely love that y'all consider just the gravity of your actions and didn't just jump on it. It makes for so much more interesting roleplay, especially because you know that there's power dynamics involved with a corrupt council like this in a terrible place like this. So to find out what happens next, please join us on the 26th of March. We'll be back at 8:30 p.m. Eastern Time. We hope you have a wonderful rest of your night. Goodbye, everyone. Bye, bye, bye.